God will provide, or won't he? We're people of faith or not. We live in a world of plenty, or we live in a world of scarcity. Which one? Which one do you want to focus on, tackle? Because they all relate to this week's gospel. I want to start with this one. Do we live in a world of abundance and blessing and multitudes? Or do we live in a world of scarcity with limits, quotas, diminishing supplies? I guess the correct answer in many ways is both. But the fear mongrels, the war mongrels, many of the politicians will tell us that we live in a world of scarcity. And we have to grab what we can, protect it from others. Do you remember the images? Remember the images during the initial stages of the pandemic? When people were hoarding toilet paper and Lysol wipes? It was crazy. Less than supportive of our community. I got mine for me and my family. You get yours. We're tough shit if you don't, if you can't figure out how to do it. Not our best look as a people. Yesterday's gospel stands in direct conflict to this notion that we live in a world of scarcity. The story of Jesus feeding the 5,000 actually is probably more than like 200,000. Because remember, at the time of Jesus, only men were counted. So we had 5,000 men. And again, understand the time and society he lived in. Each man had 2, maybe 3 wives. Each wife had 8, 10, 12, maybe even 15 children. So you do the math. The 12 apostles were doing the math, and they were worried. They were thinking like men, linear. 200 denarii couldn't feed this lot. Jesus looked at it differently. Of course he did. He asked, what do we have? And out of the generosity or the gift of a child, which John included in his account, Jesus gave thanks, he shared the gift, and by sharing the gift, he continued to give, until all had their fill. 12 baskets remained. What does it tell us? Many have said it's a foreshadowing or reflection of the Eucharistic meal itself and what happens when it's shared. Others, it's another image of the kingdom of God, again focused on abundance, and what is given is gifted or paid forward. It's certainly expression of a world of plenty and not scarcity, a world of abundance, and the reality of the truth that God will provide. I grew up with this phrase, God will provide, ringing in my ears and consciousness through my Catholic schools. But I always wondered, or I doubted, I guess, will he? How will he? How will God provide? How will I get what I want, even what I need? How? I, like the disciples, got caught up in linear thinking, in the how. I got paralyzed. I was blinded at the times to what God was providing, my daily bread or the ability to earn it, or the invitation to share what I had, my loaves and fishes, and open myself up to what was given back, what was shared in return, directly and indirectly. We know that when we share, it gives 2 ways. To the other or the community, and to us, the one who's sharing. We know this. We also know that when we do this individually or as a community, we are better for it, better as people, and we're at our best. We have seen this countless times in our history, and I'm sure you've seen it in your individual lives as well. So to live in the spirit of this story, Jesus feeding the 200,000, is to live in the spirit of plenty, a spirit of abundance, of giftedness, of faith and trust in God, that God will provide. And to live as our best selves, not our hoarding selves, but our best selves in the spirit of giving, spirit of abundance, blessing, and grace. So perhaps you can feed someone this week. Share out of your 5 loaves and 2 fish and see what comes back. 12 baskets, I would wager. Enjoy. Have a great week, everybody. Peace.